Now, if you ever needed a chapter to remind you why we love Denji, this is it 100%. And you know what? I honestly don't even find the last panel that funny. I mean, yeah, it is funny, but like, it's kind of some real shit. You know, if you peel back the layers a little bit, I mean, who doesn't agree? All right, but let's start from the beginning. So Denji is finally on the scene, and the last chapter was super awesome. I love the battle and the intensity they were able to have, and also when you have multiple characters that can basically tear out each other's guts and rip each other in half and kind of still keep going. It doesn't necessarily up the stakes, but it puts you into a scenario where pretty much anything can happen during the fight itself. But it was all culminating to the moment where the Falling Devil was going to go and finish her meal, which is to kill Asa. And to do that, she needs Asa to succumb to the darkness within her, to the idea that she would be better off dead, that she would be willing to kind of jump into the nothingness, into the void, and submit into the fact of the oncoming death. You know, as the power has subsisted with all of these other people jumping out of the apartment buildings and everything, it kind of leads you to that place where you kind of give up hope, where you don't find any more reason to live, and you just decide to let go. Now, there are benefits in life to letting go to circumstances and kind of letting life take this. It leads you to nowhere except darkness, you know? And Asa is here, and she's willing to accept that in this moment. I always felt really bad for Asa because she feels like she's a burden on everybody, and at the same time, she doesn't really make people think that she's not. She has a really hard time forming connections. When she thinks she does is torn away. Her best friend that she made, you know, not too long ago was killed. Why we still got to deal with that potential fake Chainsaw Man or Chainsaw Man moment of when that happened, by the way. Her parents, obviously, the cat that she had, even Bucky, who was like the only person that, R.I.P. Bucky, you know, every single person has kind of been torn away. And even most recently, she thinks that Denji stood her up on their date, where she thought their first date went really, really well because she sat there and told him a bunch of facts about starfish. As long as you're not having starfish sex, I mean, I guess. I feel really bad for her because I do understand this not being able to create one, or the moments you have where you begin to think that you create one and then it's immediately torn away from you. And so she basically gives up. Even Yoru is trying to keep her alive. She's trying to keep her grounded, trying to keep her in the physical, but she kind of falls into the void. And she says that things would be better off this way, but she wishes that she did have that person, and then it kind of trails off. But I think the idea is that that person that you could form that connection with, have a bond, perhaps fall in love with. And I really, really do think every chapter is proving it further and further and further that we are setting up the most epic power couple of autistic baddies that ever existed with Denji and Asa, and I can't wait until their relationship is solidified. She starts to fall, and Denji catches her, you know, as she is submitting more and more. She's getting heavier and heavier. It's kind of like a magnetic force, I imagine, kind of pulling her up into the air in order to drop her. And Denji's holding on to her, and he's saying, like, don't fall into it. Like, think about something happy. And he's immediately thinking, what's cool? Think about dogs. Think about cats. Think about ice cream. You know, think about things that are awesome. And, then we have this moment. And remember, at this point, Asa doesn't know that Chainsaw Man is Denji. And also, this is going to be a huge moment for Yoru, which we don't see in this chapter, but I imagine this is going to come up probably in the next chapter or the one right after, where Chainsaw Man's right in front of them, but we might have to postpone her vendetta against Chainsaw Man in order to team up to take down the Falling Devil, which I believe is going to happen. I think moving forward, I think Asa is going to kind of have Yoru take over, and I think we're going to have this moment where we got the War Devil and Chainsaw Man fucking fighting side by side, teaming up, taking down the Falling Devil. So I really, really think that that's what's going to happen in the next chapter or two. But in this moment, Denji's just trying to find ways to make her not kind of fall into this weight that's kind of pulling her up. And so he's getting her, he's trying to relate to her. I don't think he's like really understanding what he's doing, but he's just like, hey, it's not that bad. The thing is, he really does. If anybody has a reason to fall into this, it is Denji. You know, but he kind of just ignores it. He puts his head in the sand. He chainsaws his own face. You know, he just throws his chainsaws into his own face. He's like, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to listen to it. Like, fuck this. I refuse. I refuse to allow this the satisfaction of defeating me. And I just sense like a relation to that, because I feel like in many cases I have the same mentality. Not as Denji in general, But in this particular instance where it's like, I just refuse. Like, yeah, maybe it would be better off, but it's just like, I'm not going to do it because fuck it. That's why. Also, I have reasons to live. And Denji's reason to live, you know, he tells her, he's like, you know, you can put up with all of it. You can put up with all the pain, anguish, torment, disappointment, misery if you have something to live for. And she's like, what do you have to live for? And he's like, I want to have sex. And yes, it is a classic hysterical Denji moment. But listen, like, it's legitimate. If you think about it, like, sex is awesome. And, like, if you stay alive, you have more of a potential for it than if you don't. There have been times in my life where I've been like, man, life sucks. Everything is shitty right now. I don't know where things are going. But, man, I do want to have sex again. And if I wasn't around, I wouldn't be able to. I don't know when it's going to happen again, but it's definitely not going to happen if I give up. And it's kind of some real shit kind of sprinkled in there, man. Like, I don't know how ridiculous it seems on the outside. Also, Denji, you know, he's always been, like, overly horny, obviously. But I get it. And if that's a reason, it's better than no reason at all. Now, that shouldn't probably be your end-all, be-all goal in life. That shouldn't be the only thing keeping you around. But you know what? When you're kind of in that dark place, you gotta build things up by stepping stones. You know, you gotta go one step at a time. You gotta build yourself up. You gotta, you know, become that person that has these reasons to exist and these reasons to continue to move on and to press forward. But, you know, when you're in that dark place, it's kind of like you don't know where to start. Well, what's like the most immediate thing that you want? Well, I want to get laid. Good. Well, there's a want. That's a desire. That's a reason to stay alive. Just go with it for now and build on top of that. But of course, since we are going with the idea that a lot of disappointment also leads to this, you know, when you overhype something too, and you put it on too much of a pedestal, then you never know what could happen. Since Chainsaw Man gets away with a lot, I'm not gonna lie, like there's been a lot of raunchy things and obviously a lot of blood and gore. I wonder if we ever will have that moment where Denji I wonder if we will have that moment where Denji has sex. And it's just like the ultimate disappointment, like he busts in like 3 seconds or something, and then just like his entire worldview is turned upside down. Then the falling devil could truly attack him. But it's okay. You just got to have confidence in yourself. It's all right. It's just like there's time for round 2. It's fine. All right? Don't worry about it. Don't judge yourself. It happens. Get over it. Anyways, guys, I'm not sure what else to say. These chapters go by really quick, but Chainsaw Man does a really, really good job at blending the kind of crazy, outlandish humor with also a lot of kind of deep psychological issues that the characters are dealing with. Like, the stuff that Asa's going through currently in the moment is really dark and really deep, and then it's juxtaposed against Denji, who's basically saying the most, like, you know, basic human instinct thing. It's like, that's the reason to stay alive. It's just like, yeah. And, you know, it could go deeper and deeper into that, into, like, procreation and stuff. Like, what's the reason why you desire it so much? But whatever, it doesn't matter the reason. It's just a reason. And so I love the kind of blend of those two things. I love this, just the outlandish nature of it, and then the deep, dark, serious tones that it has kind of undercutting it. And it's like it all swirled into one weird, blended up mess. I don't know. But the Falling Devil's still here, so she has to be taken down. She has to be defeated. So I am predicting that Denji and Asa, with, well, Yoru kind of in control perhaps, are going to team up and take her down. And then following the aftermath of that, we might get the reveal of Chainsaw Man and Denji being one and the same, and Asa and Yoru's reaction to that. So anyways, guys, if you have read chapter 127, I think it is, of Chainsaw Man, let me know what you think of it down below. Did you enjoy it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did it make you laugh? How do you feel? Do you relate to Denji? And what's your reason for not falling into darkness? Tell me what your reason is. Why are you defiant against it to all ends, man? Do you just stick chainsaws in your face to ignore it? Or is there something you desire? Let me know. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Please like this video and comment in order to help it in the algorithm. It does really help, actually, so I'd appreciate it if you did. And if you want to support the channel on a deeper level, I have a Patreon, channel memberships, merch store, all that linked down below, as well as my various social media links where you can follow me. Other than that, guys, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time.